My name is Rachel Giese. I'm a senior editor at the Walrus, and my most tale involves the most difficult interview I ever did. One year I was covering the Toronto International Film Festival. I used to work as an arts reporter, and I was covering the Toronto International Film Festival, which is kind of a zoo if you're covering it. So I got a last-minute call that there was a director available, and did I want to talk to him. He's an Italian director, quite well known if you know sort of contemporary Italian cinema, not so well known outside of it. And I get there, and the publicist says, you know, if you want, I can give you 20 minutes with him. And I'm thinking, I thought I was only going to have 10. Okay, well, let's see what I can do. Sure, I'll go in and talk to the guy. And so we go in, and it starts out okay. I sort of start asking him kind of, sort of general, kind of, the getting to know you questions. And he has a translator with him. He has an interpreter with him, even though his English is excellent. And then, I don't know if it was that my lack of preparedness was evident, or this guy was just exhausted, or just particularly cantankerous. But he just began to get really short with me. He didn't like the questions I was asking. At one point, he was criticizing what the translator was wearing in the middle of it, and the translator's having to translate to me, he doesn't like my salmon shirt. He thinks I shouldn't wear this color. So the whole thing is just getting weirder and weirder. And at this point, like, all pretense of this interview happening are over. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how do I get out of this interview, and it's going so poorly. And he starts picking at this hole in the wall, and he looks at me and he says in English, I think this is a bullet hole. And I can see why someone would want to bring a gun into a room like this, into an interview like this, or something like that. And I mean, I didn't feel like he was threatening me, but clearly the interview was so bad, he either wanted to kill me or kill himself. And I thought, okay, this is just, I have to get out of here. I have to, this is awful. I'm totally mortified at this point. I feel like such a hack at this point. And I just sort of, I don't know what excuse I made. I think I said I'd had to go and interview another director or something, and I just bolted out of the room, and I left the building. I was nearly in tears, and I thought, I can't really even do anything with this story. It was such a bad interview. But I actually listened to my tape after, and I just sound shaky. Like, after the first awkward questions, I sound shaky. It is probably the world's, it's probably not just my worst interview, but it's probably the world's worst interview. And I think I maybe destroyed the tape afterwards. I think I just didn't even want to remember anything that had happened.